I never thought I'd be the type of person to share something so personal online, but I feel like I'm running out of options. For the past 2 years, my life has been a roller coaster I never asked to be on, and no matter how hard I try, I can't seem to get off. It all started after my divorce from Clara. Clara and I were married for 5 years. Things were great in the beginning. We clicked on so many levels, shared dreams, and built what I thought was a solid life together. But over time, cracks began to show. Clara became increasingly controlling. She needed to know where I was at all times, who I was with, and even what I was thinking. At first, I dismissed it as her just being overly caring. But as time went on, I realized I was losing myself. I wasn't allowed to make decisions without her input. I couldn't go out with friends without getting a barrage of texts. When I finally told her I wanted a divorce, it was one of the hardest things I'd ever done. She cried, begged me to reconsider, and promised to change. But I knew deep down that things had gone too far. We were toxic for each other, and staying together would only make things worse. The divorce was finalized quickly since we didn't have kids, and we agreed to share custody of Max, our golden retriever. I thought that would be the end of it. I was wrong. At first, Clara seemed to take it well. She'd call or text occasionally, mostly about Max. I didn't mind. It was nice to have a civil relationship after everything we'd been through. But then, the calls became more frequent. She'd message me late at night, reminiscing about our good times together or saying she couldn't sleep without hearing my voice. I tried to brush it off as her having a hard time adjusting. Things escalated when she started showing up unannounced. One evening, I came home from work to find her sitting on my porch with Max. She smiled like nothing was wrong and said she just wanted to see me. I told her she couldn't keep doing that, and she apologized, promising it wouldn't happen again. But it did. One weekend, I went out of town with some friends. When I came back, I noticed a few things in my apartment were out of place. A picture frame had been moved, and the blanket on my couch was folded differently. That's when I remembered Clara still had a spare key. I immediately changed the locks, but when I told her why, she acted offended, saying I was overreacting and that she'd only come by to make sure everything was okay. I tried dating again, thinking that moving on might help me fully detach from her. That's when things took a darker turn. I met Emily, a sweet, funny woman who made me feel like myself again. For the first time in years, I felt hopeful. But somehow, Clara found out. She started leaving comments on Emily's social media, cryptic, passive-aggressive things like, "Good luck, you'll need it," or, "Some people never learn." Emily was understandably freaked out and asked if I was still involved with Clara. I explained everything, but the stress of it all was too much. After a few months, Emily ended things, saying she couldn't handle the drama. Clara denied everything, of course. She claimed she was just trying to protect me and accused Emily of being the wrong person for me. It was infuriating. I told her to stop interfering in my life, to leave me alone, and to let me move on. For a while, she seemed to back off. Then the subtle harassment began. I started noticing a car like hers parked near my apartment building at odd hours. I'd get texts from unknown numbers saying things like, "Why are you ignoring me?" or "We're meant to be together." Once, I received a bouquet of flowers with no note attached. Clara used to send me flowers when we were together, and I knew it couldn't be a coincidence. The breaking point came when she showed up at my office. She brought coffee for me and started chatting with my coworkers like we were still married. My boss even pulled me aside later to ask if we were back together. I was mortified. That night, I confronted her and told her, once and for all, that her behavior was unacceptable. She cried as usual and promised to change. But I've heard it all before. I've thought about getting a restraining order, but I feel conflicted. Clara isn't dangerous. She's just stuck. Part of me still cares about her, but I know I can't let that keep me trapped in this cycle. I've even considered moving to another city, just to get some peace. But why should I have to uproot my entire life because she can't respect boundaries? I don't know what to do anymore. I'm exhausted, emotionally and mentally. I just want to move on with my life, but it feels like she won't let me.